Salute, MobTube. How's everybody doing today? All right, we got 16 people. It's an addiction and recovery show, so you know how it goes. Not worried about it. Let me do some shout outs and we'll get started. Michael Hensley, Dave, Albaz, Paul Atkinson, Miss Can't Be Wrong, Bug Spray. No bugs around here, but I'm glad you're keeping an eye out. Tatone, Jesse Roth, Sally. We get down here, John DeLong. I better not have shouted you out. No, I didn't. All right, $2 Squirrel Girl. I love that name. Tony Handsome, Joe C, Joe Root, Mini 560, Danny Green. Let's see. Danny Green says, "Hey FBS, not an addict or anything, but I do struggle with depression and mental health. I love these shows. Thanks for Carrie G." Oh, okay. Well, listen, bro. Uh, I think you meant thanks for caring. It looked like a name at first. Oh, look at it. Look. I thought maybe that was a message you were passing along. Oh, shit. Bro, listen. Don't worry about me, man. I get a lot out of this stuff. You know what I mean? Thank you guys for being here and hanging out, and sharing some of your stories and experiences. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it would just be me sitting here talking. And what am I going to say? You know, I told you guys I already struggle quite often with what to talk about and stuff on these shows. You know, even before I sat down. See, I'm so used to the other shows. The other shows, I do have an ability to just sit down with no ideas and then somehow turn the show into something. Not always, but most of the time. Um, with these, it's not as easy. You know what I'm saying? So I forget that sometimes, and I'll just go. You know, I'll schedule an addiction or recovery show. I won't put too much thought into it, and then I'll click live, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I don't have anything to talk about. But I had that issue last time, and last time I think turned out to be one of the best addiction or recovery shows yet. So we'll see. I'll just take cues from you guys. Whatever you want to share in the chat, I'll try to pick up on that, and you know what I mean. Add to it. No addiction, just experience with family, but struggle with depression. Have all my life, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'll go with that since this can't be wrong. And Danny Green brought it up. Carrie G. Um, as you guys know, I've told a lot of you already. Oh wait, is that right, John? I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you know what? Let me start over here. Let me start over because there's something I wanted to say before we get going. Now, we all have our beefs on here. A lot of us hate each other. A lot of us, I wouldn't say there's hatred. It's just a mutual understanding. Maybe we just don't fucking like each other. From time to time, we're going to go at it. In some cases, I think it's even less than that. It's just like people butt heads every now and then. I don't know. But I think in some cases, two people that may be beefing know each other to an extent. Whereas even if something bad were to happen to them, to one of them, you know, the other one would be caring and understanding and sincerely wish that person, you know, their best and maybe send condolences, whatever the case may be, check up on them, whatever. So, with that being said, Angel Gotti did lose her dog today. Okay, I think it was today. It could have been last night. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but she lost her dog. And regardless of the beefs me and Angel have had between each other, um, I feel for her 100%. I absolutely want to send my condolences to Angel and Victoria, her family in general. And, you know, just stay strong because some people don't take it seriously because they think, oh, it's just a dog. And most of those people have never had dogs. That's why. But a dog could be your best friend. You know what I mean? Seriously. It could be like losing a person, without a doubt, losing your dog. So I do feel for Angel today. I feel real bad. And, I wish her the best. And like I said, I send my condolences. And regardless of any beefs between us, which I'm sure will continue for years to come, I mean that sincerely. So I just wanted to put out that message. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same. Uh, I think about Rusty every day. Like Shanna doesn't understand. I get sad about Rusty. I just look at him sometimes and I think he's 70 years old. You know what I mean? Like I've only been here 3 years or so, and I've already seen, him age to an extent where it's like, wow, he's not behaving the same way he was. He's not as energetic. You notice these things as dogs get older, and sometimes he scares me. He appears to be sick, or he has no energy, and then he's not moving around much, or sometimes he won't eat, things like that. Um, and I dread the day that we lose Rusty. And um, we're getting another dog. Okay, most likely this weekend, and even that concerns me because it's like I don't know. I feel some type of way about it. Like uh, I don't know if it'll upset Rusty. That the new puppy is getting all the love and attention, or maybe just Rusty might feel like more love and attention. I don't know. Uh, I feel bad that when Rusty passes, that the new puppy will be without his friend. So things like this, I do think about because I've lost dogs before. I've lost uh, I've lost dogs. I lost several. I always had pit bulls, and with the exception of the last one that died of some type of cancer. Um, I was in jail at the time. My daughter had her when she passed, but the let's see, there was Chance, there was Capone, uh, Bishop didn't work out so well as a puppy, and we gave Bishop to a family member, and he turned out to be fine, but that was early on, not long after I got him. Chance got shot in the woods. Yeah, because I let some hillbilly friend of mine watch him while I was in Florida, and I said, "Listen, whatever you do, don't let him off the leash. He's a nut. He's going to run away." And he ran away, and he was like a brindle color. Somebody mistook him for a deer and shot him. And then Capone, that was my other pit. He got hit by a car. It's stuff I don't even like to talk about, but it fucking hurts, man, to lose a dog. It hurts. So I feel for Angel. I'll tell you what, I feel for her so much, and I'm so sincere about this, that I am not going to tear Lee Cole to pieces today for seeing him do quite possibly the corniest thing I've ever seen him do in my entire fucking life. That's how serious I am. I thought about this. I was like, no, no, no. Angel will understand. I could still tear Lee to shreds, and make fun of him endlessly for that cheesy thing he did today. But I don't feel like Angel wants to be talked about, and I kind of have to mention her in order to talk about what Lee did. So at least for a couple of days, Lee is off the hook. You get a pass for a couple of days, my friend. Okay, but it's coming your way. Don't worry. Anyway, I wanted to say that. Ah, yeah, I know Miss can't be wrong. I know we're not going to get into the Lee thing yet, but we will. I took notes. Don't worry, I took notes. um, so moving on, depression, which goes right along with loss, right? It could be from losing a dog, a person, whatever. Depression is a motherfucker, man, because for many of you who know my story, I contribute most of my addiction issues. Well, I guess all of my addiction issues, technically, to depression because of, I figure whatever your addiction issues were throughout your life, whatever caused them to begin with, whatever got you using to begin with, is probably what's responsible for all your addiction issues, from then on out. That's the way I see it. I could be wrong. But I know that even when I had periods of clean time, I started using again because of depression. Okay, whether it was from a loss, like I said, some family tragedy, stuff like that. Uh, yeah, even 10 years ago or so, a little more, 12 years ago. I lost a job that I loved. It was like my foundation. I worked, constantly, and I loved that job, and I was able to give my daughter a good life with it. And when I lost that job, I went back to use. And before that, it was a tragedy that took place in my life. And before that, we'll just say uh, let's just go back to the origin. When I was a teenager, I fell into a very, very deep depression. Very deep. It was not like, oh, I'm sad. I feel sorry for myself. People don't understand. There's being depressed, and then there's clinical depression. Clinical depression is not based on anything that's taken place in your life necessarily, or even how you think you should be feeling at the time. It's something that happens to your brain. It's a chemical thing. Okay, you could be having the most success you've ever had in your life, all good things happening to you, and you just fall into this depression for no fucking reason. You don't know where it came from. When it happened to me, I was with a gorgeous girl I just met. I was let's just say my drug business as a teenager was thriving. Okay, I was the man in my area, so to speak, like Anthony Arlotta would say. I had a brand new car, all types of things. Everything was looking up. And just out of nowhere, I start waking up and I can't get out of fucking bed, and I'm like, I feel sick, and uh, I remember I started experiencing all weird things. Like when I could get myself out of bed, uh, I had tunnel vision. There's no bullshit. I mean, I remember being in Staples once. I think I forget what I was in there for. It doesn't matter. But I remember literally having tunnel vision. I had no peripheral vision. It was very, very strange. And this led me to believe that I had some sort of cancer. And then everything else, like Tony Soprano in the Sopranos, when they talk about cancer a lot in association with depression. Depression, I believe, and from everything I've been told, makes you think you have cancer. And I think the reason is because depression, can affect all types of things, as far as your body, your mind. It can make you feel all types of different symptoms. And let's face it, anybody who's ever did a WebMD or Googled symptoms, there's a cancer to go right along with those. It might not be what you have, but you will find a cancer for it. Okay. So you don't understand when I say couldn't get out of bed. I'd spend days in bed. I couldn't even move. I felt paralyzed. And I was in this state of misery. Like I had lost interest in everything. I didn't want to be around my friends anymore. I was fucking miserable. I wasn't eating. And it was horrible. And it didn't make sense because, like I said, it came at a time when everything was going so well. But I turned into a complete hypochondriac. I mean, every fucking week I was at the doctor with a different, perceived illness. So anyway, um, along with the depression, I began to experience anxiety, panic attacks, and shit. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I would think something insane is happening. Like, I'm not even going to say. I'll be made fun of for years by assholes, but you guys know. I mean, you could have such an irrational fear that something is taking place in your body or mind or something that you go ballistic. And I would fucking wake my mom up in the middle of the night and be like, this is happening or this is happening, and she'd have to sit me down and try to calm me, and it just became too much, and I started drinking. I started drinking heavy. Um, I also got medicated, but it was around the same time I started drinking. So if there were improvements, I can't tell you which thing caused them. But especially with the panic attacks, the panic attacks though, like the depression. Like I said, I don't know. But the panic attacks, I've been in the middle of a full blown panic attack. I told you there was a story in 2005 or six, right after that tragedy took place. I was at a catering company on George Street, New York City, that I worked at. Okay. And I was out back. I was loading a van, either loading or unloading. I don't remember, because I was driving for Meals on Wheels through the catering company. They had the contracts throughout like York County and certain counties in Maryland, Frederick, places like that. So I would just, load up a van in the morning, drive to all different senior centers all over these different counties, drop off coolers full of food and shit, warm food, everything, and then hot food, I should say, and then come back and unload my van. So I was in the garage, and I'm telling you, man, anybody who's ever had a severe panic attack, it starts to feel like your heart is being pulled out of your chest. It's a pain that I can't even describe, and the fear that goes along with it, because it's your heart. You think you're dying, and that's where the pain is. It's unbelievable. And this guy Dexter, who was a severe alcoholic, he was in the garage with me, and he ran into the kitchen and got a bottle of this Old Crow whiskey, terrible shit that we used to cook with, and just gave me, I took a swig of it, and it's like that. Panic attack went away. I mean, literally. And then, now at that time, here's the thing. At that time, I had already been drinking pretty heavy from when everything took place, and even before that, I was drinking pretty heavy. So when that happened to me in that garage, I wasn't sure if it was a panic attack or if it was alcohol withdrawal. And I'll never know, because they're so very similar. See, alcohol withdrawal will do the same thing to you as a panic attack in many cases. It'll make you feel like you're having a heart attack. Okay. And in many cases with alcohol withdrawal, you are. Okay. But it'll give you that feeling just like a panic attack does. It'll make you sweat. It'll make it'll make you lose color. You'll go pale, shit like that. I can't explain. Anybody who's been through it, there's a lot of different symptoms that go with a panic attack. So I guess I'll never really know if it was the panic attack that went away because of the shot or the alcohol, but most likely a panic attack, or a panic attack brought on by alcohol withdrawal, because alcohol withdrawal does, when it's not in its most serious state, like severe alcohol withdrawal, kill you. But when you're just starting to experience it, a lot of the time it'll cause panic attacks. Anyway, my point is, that's how I started to treat my depression and anxiety, is with alcohol. And over time, I was selling cocaine. I never even had a thought of doing it. And then one night I just was like, I think I was watching Scarface. I was like, fuck it. Put a CD case up on my dresser and chopped some lines and did it. The rest is history. But depression could be a leading cause, and I'm sure is a leading cause of addiction issues, without a doubt. I mean, it has to be. Because when you're in that depression, I mean, you'll do anything to break out of it. And when you're having those panic attacks, you'll do anything to make them go away. So it does, and I'm not telling anybody to start drinking. Okay, don't, trust me. The drinking will turn into a hell of a lot worse problem than the fucking depression. Depression can be treated other ways: exercise, just change of lifestyle. Sometimes, a healthy diet, prescription medication. Sometimes, natural medications, whatever. What was my point? Yeah, so I'm not encouraging people to drink. I don't ever want anybody who might be in a depression to hear this and say, "Oh, I'm going to go get a bottle. That'll fix it." No, it'll fix it momentarily, and then before you know it, you'll be like I was. You'll have a seizure after 12 hours without a drink, and you'll almost lose your life in a fucking hospital. But it did for me. I'm going to tell you the truth. I mean, I can't say it cured my depression, but it at least every time I drank, I felt normal again. Even though I felt, obviously fucked up, the effects of alcohol, but I wasn't feeling that suffering and shit. So it became my medication. I was self-medicating with alcohol, and it happened a couple of times throughout my life where that's how I would treat my depression, and And it's bad. It's bad shit, man. Because again, like I just said, it starts off with clinical depression, and before you know it, you still got something wrong with your brain, except now you got something else too. Now your brain craves the substance, and if you don't give it that substance, you could drop fucking dead, or you never know. You could have a series of strokes. All types of shit can be brought on by alcohol withdrawal, and that's one of the ways to become a severe alcoholic. When I say severe alcoholic, I mean somebody who winds up going through alcohol withdrawal if they try to stop. You know, um, because depression can last years. It can last forever. So if you're self medicating because you have, I guess you could say chronic clinical depression, then you're going to need an unbelievable amount of. I don't even think alcohol will do it. I'm going to say straight up liquor. You know what I mean? It's all alcohol, but you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about not beer. No, you ain't going to fucking treat it with wine coolers. You're going to need it so often that you're going to build a tolerance, and you'll be like me. You'll be drinking 80 proof and over. So no, it's no way to treat it, but it is a cause. There's no doubt about it. Clinical depression, anxiety, they're without a doubt two definite causes of depression and anxiety disorders. Wait a minute, what did I just say? What the fuck did I just say? Did I just confuse myself? Wait a minute, hold on. I feel like I fucked that up. Hold on. I thought I fucked that up. I said clinical depression and anxiety disorders are two of the main causes of clinical depression and anxiety disorders. You know what I meant. Clinical depression and anxiety disorders, without a doubt, have to be probably two of the top causes of any type of alcohol or drug addiction. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, when you're when you're deep in a depression, or when you're fucking suffering from anxiety attacks, you'll do anything to make it go away. And a lot of these medications too, at least back then, you got to take them 2, 3 fucking weeks before they start doing anything. And you're suffering every day, every minute of every day, you're fucking suffering. So you gotta, you want a more uh, speedy cure, I guess you could say. So you could say, Let me see what you guys have to say. Well, you guys are still talking about dogs. Sorry, I got way behind. Uh, okay, you're talking about death and stuff. All right. Paul Atkinson. You're a nut. I always thought I was having a heart attack. Anxiety, sweats, shortness of breath. I dreaded meetings when I worked in a factory as a quality control supervisor. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. It makes things like that impossible. I feel the same. You're talking about through alcohol withdrawal, right? Because you said anxiety. So you're not talking about the anxiety attacks. Yeah, alcohol withdrawal. Um, yeah, it brings that on. It makes you feel like you're having a heart attack. It gives you anxiety, sweats, shortness of breath, just, some panic attack symptoms. And then, other stuff too. I mean, the tremors and the fucking, I told you it would get so bad for me. Not only would my hands be shaking, it felt like my entire insides were shaking. I couldn't sit still. I mean, I was, um, you couldn't look at me and not know something was wrong. So just to be normal in a situation where you have to do something like that, guess what you have to do? You got to drink a little bit. Seriously, just to calm your body. But then that's going to wear off too. And then what do you got to do? You got to drink more. And in a situation like that, where you got to sit in a meeting at a factory where you're a supervisor, it's not such an easy answer. I'll just go have a couple of drinks, you know. So it's a horrible situation. Panic attacks are awful. I can't even describe. Um, Sorry, I was looking at a different one. Okay, panic attacks are awful. I can't even describe. They're fucking terrible. They're terrible. I'll tell you, the first. Well, see, I mean, I guess, like I said, when I was younger, 18, 19, and I was in the depression, I was having what I considered to be panic attacks, but I didn't get as much of the physical symptoms or the more severe ones. It was a lot of mental stuff. I would think something's happening to me, but I think it was 2006 or so. Me and my daughter and her mom were out trick or treating. And me and her daughter were in. No, I'm sorry. Me and her, my daughter's mother, were in the middle of a breakup, so we weren't exactly getting along. But neither one of us was going to miss taking my daughter trick or treating. So we were walking through West York, trick or treating, going from house to house, and we were walking together, and all of a sudden I got this feeling in my chest, and I'm like, oh. At first it was just like a stinging pain. I said, what the fuck? And they got a little bit ahead of me, and because I couldn't continue to walk with them, all of a sudden I started losing my breath. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm getting super short of breath. I'm like, I can't fucking breathe. And then all of a sudden, I'm telling you, there's no other way to describe it other than it felt like somebody reached into my chest, grabbed my heart, and was pulling on it as hard as they could. I hit the fucking ground. Everybody ran over. They thought I was really having a heart attack. I insist on going home because I don't know what's happening, and I'm embarrassed, of course, because this is happening to me in public during a fucking trick or treating, and my daughter's seeing it and everything. So I rush home, and when I look in the mirror, and all the color is drained from my skin, my palms, my face, every fucking thing, and I'm pouring sweat and I can't breathe. And that was another occasion. I had a fucking half gallon of vodka, and I took a couple of shots, and I was brand fucking new. And again, because I had already been drinking for a while, I wasn't positive if that was a panic attack or the alcohol withdrawal. Um, I guess you could say either way, it's a panic attack. Because even in the beginning, when you start to experience alcohol withdrawal, much of what you're experiencing are panic attacks. Alcohol withdrawal will cause that. But, I didn't know exactly at the time. Because, when things like that happen to you, you want to know, okay, what's the issue? What, am I having a heart attack because of alcohol withdrawal? Am I having a heart attack in general? Am I having a panic attack? Do I need to see a doctor? What do I got to do? And once you learn that a shot of liquor or something is a cure to all these horrible things taking place in your body and mind, well, then what the fuck do you, just like anybody else? Just like the way you learn from anything in life. You're like, okay, well, there's the cure all. That's it. All I got to do is take a couple of shots. And, it gets worse and worse. Like with me, the depression, I either couldn't wake up or I couldn't go to sleep. When I couldn't go to sleep, I would just drink myself to sleep. And when you do that, now you really got a serious problem, because eventually you will start waking up in the throes of alcohol withdrawal. There's no question about it. And then every time you got to fucking drink just to get out of bed, it makes it worse. And then the next thing makes it worse and worse and worse. And now your only choice is either drop fucking dead from the withdrawal or go to detox and get medically detoxed. It's the only way. Panic prevented me from fulfilling my dream to be a professional musician. Oh, I believe it, Sally. I believe it 100%. I there was an actress a long time ago that came out and talked about her struggles with anxiety and all the opportunities she lost out on because of it. Uh, it'll do that to you. It'll take over your life. It's horrible. It's horrible. Greetings and salutations, my good man Don Berlin. Good to see you. When the effects are over, the pain is amplified. Yep. Let me see. Man, I wish I had a rewind button in my life. Need it for sure. Oh, Anthony, bro. Yeah, I don't think there's many of us who don't wish we had that. I was thinking about it last night, and I was thinking about. I think you guys would understand what I say, what I mean when I say like in the last 2 years, a lot of my dreams have come true. Without a doubt. You know, well, actually, within the last four, I mean, or a little over, I met a woman who I fell in love with, and I'm happily married to now. Um, I moved to a new town. I got out of the streets and away from all that horse shit. I turned my life around. I beat addiction. Well, you know what I'm saying. I'm in recovery, so. And now I have an occupation basically where it's basically based on my convenience. Whenever I feel like doing it, and I make enough money to give my family a very nice life, and I don't have to do anything illegal. I don't have to bust my ass in a factory, and I don't have to do any of that shit. I've gotten to interview actors that I've been watching in movies and on TV since I was fucking 11 years old. Things like that. I kicked that terrible habit of looking up to the mafia and the members of it, and I've totally got myself off that weird ass fucking train. My life is amazing, but I was sitting back last night and I was thinking, were the things I did in my past and the pain I caused people so bad that I would give all this up to go back, like you say, Anthony Santoro, with a rewind button and do it all over? Because that is a toss up. Like, wow, I could either say, the past is the past, what's done is done. I'm just grateful to be where I am now. Or I can say, well, for the sake of the people I hurt, for example, would it be a more selfish thing? If of course, I had the option in this fantasy of mine, would it be a more selfless thing to fucking go back in time if I could and change it for everyone? And I came to the conclusion that yes, I can honestly tell you yes. As much as I love my life and everything in it, if I could go back and redo everything, um, and I'd have to lose everything now. I know that might sound fucked up to some people. Some people, I'm sure, will take it out of context and say all types of shit about it. But the answer would be yes, simply because it's not because I'm not happy where I am now. I couldn't be happier where I am now. Well, I could be if I could redo the past. Um, but yeah, just for the sake of other people, because that's who I am. I could a selfish motherfucker would be like, fuck it, fuck them. Yeah, they had to suffer a little pain, but look at me now. I'm where I want to be. They'll just have to live with it. No, that's not me, man. If I could go back and take their pain away, and then maybe today I'd have to be in pain, I'd do it in a fucking heartbeat. Anthony, you probably feel the same way. I would do it in a fucking heartbeat because I owe it to them. To anybody I've hurt. And anybody I hurt during all those years of fucking addiction. Trust me, I really pondered that shit for a while last night, but that's the answer. That's the conclusion I came to, I guess you could say, because for me to say otherwise would be like me saying, well, things are so good for me. I'm so happy. I'm making all this money. I got this YouTube channel. I work when I want to. I get to do awesome shit. take trips, stuff like that, have all kinds of fun in my life. I met a bunch of awesome fucking people. I met people that like I said, I never thought in a million fucking years I'd meet. I have a phone full of phone numbers that in my wildest dreams, you could never have convinced me that I would one day have. So I could be selfish and be like, yeah, well, listen, all that shit, it's just too great for me to say, well, um, the people who I've hurt, they just, hopefully one day they'll get over it. But I ain't giving this up for anything. I can't say that, you know. And if Shanna was in my past and I had hurt her and I was somewhere else in life and I could go back and take that back, I would do it for Shanna. You know what I'm saying? Without a doubt. But of course, this isn't an option. It's just things you think about. Yeah, keyboard thug. We'll talk about Lee in the next couple of days. I don't want to. I don't want to add to Angel's stress or anything. Which I'm not going to be talking bad about her, but it's let her uh, grieve and stuff. When my daughter OD'd, wow, you really did text to speech on that one, didn't you? I'm sorry, bro. When my daughter OD'd and was in a coma, went and got drugged. Go figure. Oh yeah, well, bro, listen, for that, Paul, I can't even imagine the fucking the pain you were feeling. I mean, you know, especially since this is a recovery show, we're supposed to say like, no, nothing is an excuse to go drink or drug, which I guess really nothing is, because in the long run, no matter what the problem is, you're only adding to it by doing that, by resorting to alcohol and drugs as some sort of cure, but even momentarily for the pain. But who the fuck could blame you? I mean, these are the little moments like that when stuff like that happens in life, and I certainly hope it happens to as few people as possible. I hate to see it happen to anyone. Like I said, I can't imagine what Paul has gone through. But when things like that happen in life, I mean, we're just wired that way, man. And let me tell you, you don't have to be an alcoholic or a drug addict. I told you, my brother at one point almost died. He had been beaten so fucking badly. His lungs were punctured, his cheekbones were broken, his fucking everything, his nose, his jaw. He was fucked up. Like, I just remember him bleeding out in the back seat of my mom's Cadillac, and she's rushing him to the fucking hospital. And I told you, it was either that night or the night after, something like that. I walked in my dad's office, and he was drinking Jack Daniels. At that point, I don't think I had ever seen my father take a drink. He never had an addiction issue in his life. All he did was preach about, never doing drugs, never, or even drinking. And he was getting wasted. And why? Because sometimes, Paul, like, the pain is so severe that you'll look for any escape. Now, we learn as we go on as addicts that no matter how many times we try that, it never works. Eventually, you're going to have to deal with the pain. You're just going to have to, sooner or later. But nobody can blame you. If that was a relapse, nobody can blame you for relapsing in a moment like that. It's going to happen. I saw something the other day. And I should probably wait till we get through all this, but I'll just bring it up now. I saw something the other day. It was this black dude, and he was obviously talking addiction and recovery stuff. It popped up on my TikTok or something, because I watch stuff like that quite often on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. There's a lot of addiction stuff out there. And this black dude was he got a thing saying that, on TikTok, like, they'll have a comment up on the screen and then he'll be answering it. Not like this, but like a comment somebody had made on his video. He'll put it up on the screen and then do a video responding to it. Well, somebody had said something about relapsing and having to start their clean time over again. And he kind of went on a little rant about how no. And he got very religious and all types of weird shit, but they quite often do. But he said something along the lines of, "No, no, no, you don't start over. If you relapse, you pick uh, right back up where you left off. So if you relapsed on your 58th day, the next day you pick up from 58 days." That's a topic I wanted to bring up on this show because I don't know how I feel about that. I'll tell you why. That's very dangerous advice to give people. Very, very dangerous advice to give people. See, one of the things that keeps me clean and sober is my clean time. Is the fact that I have so much clean time under my belt that relapsing would, I'd feel terrible if I had to start back from zero just because of one day, which is why he's probably saying, you shouldn't. But isn't it kind of giving people a pass? Like, well, listen, you don't even have to lose your clean time. Just go out and get fucked up. And the next day you pick up where you were supposed to be at that day. No. In my opinion, that's not good advice. That's not good advice. But I brought that up because even though I might not go that far with it, Paul, bro, you can't beat yourself up for using when that horrible, tragic event took place in your life, and nobody else would either. And like I said, we're addicts. We're wired that way. We're wired to fucking handle tragedy and shit like that, and tough life situations with alcohol and drugs, because that's how we've always done it. That's what our body and mind knows. When your mind starts experiencing some sort of tragedy, some sort of fucking overload of overwhelming grief or some shit like that, what do you think it starts asking for? That's just the way it is, because that's all it's ever known. For those who saw the show last night, it was a wild affair, lots of fun, but also really compelling issues. Yes, Don Berlin, I want to thank you again for last night. We talked about Josie and what she did with that guy, and we talked about women being abused, and we gave props to Josie for handling it the way she did and taking action and stuff like that, and how it might inspire other women who are in similar situations to do the same. But Don did something for me that I appreciate so fucking much. Obviously, he's one of a few people who have done that. Shinebox has done it before. My brain. There was one or two others, I believe, but Don said, whoever donates, whatever is donated between 11:10 p.m. and 11 p.m. and 11:10 p.m. he'll match. So fucking people donated like $537. Don matched it. And let me tell you, Don, from what I'm hearing, there's certain people who are not very happy about that today. It's a good thing neither of us give a fuck, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you again, Don. It's a band-aid for your situation, but you are the one going through it. Not an excuse, but you look for something to get your mind off of the crap for the time being. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, man, I'm not here to judge anybody that handles it that way, because again, and I don't want to jinx myself, whatever. But I haven't been really tested throughout my clean time, and I can't tell you guys how I'm going to react, because listen, tragedy is going to strike in life. It's going to happen. It's just something we have to deal with. It's just something we have to deal with. I mean, no matter what, you're going to take losses. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose pets. You're going to lose jobs. And it might not just be people. When I say lose people, people dying, but I mean relationships, things like that. People are going to walk out on you, or you might have to walk out on them. Life is going to throw you all types of fucking curveballs. But I don't know. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna judge anybody because I don't know. I know that I'm gonna face those things eventually. Things are gonna happen. I mean, I hate to even think about the fact, but I know I'm gonna lose my mom one day. Things like that. I don't even talk to my father. I haven't talked to him in years, but the day I get that news, believe it or not, I'll be fucking devastated, especially since we haven't talked in so long. I never really got a chance to make amends. I know things are going to happen, and that's why I don't judge any fucking buddy, because I don't know how I'm going to handle those things when they come. I don't. I might be a fucking driving 100 miles an hour to the closest liquor store. I don't fucking know. I might be in York City grabbing a bag of cocaine. I don't know. I don't know. But it, you can't feel bad just because if you do that, if you relapse, well, you knew that this is only a temporary solution. So why'd you do it? Because you're not thinking reasonably when you're dealing with that type of suffering or grief. You're not that you just want the pain to go away. So that's why I say I won't judge anybody, because no matter how much what Dell is my name is saying, it's a band-aid for your situation. No matter how much that it's temporary, it's not going to last forever. Um, it doesn't matter at the moment. That doesn't give you any comfort. It doesn't make you not want to escape that pain just because, well, there's a way to get out of it, at least momentarily. But if I do that, um, I'm going to have to, I could make my problems worse, and I'm going to have to deal with the pain eventually anyway. You're not thinking like that. You just want the pain to go away. It's like a person on, who's prescribed painkillers. If you had, God forbid, some fucking, terrible injury where you're in agony 24 fucking hours a day, and the doctor gives you those pills, all your mind and your body wants is an escape from that pain. Okay. You're in too much pain to sit there and say, well, but I know these pills are addictive, and I had a friend who got addicted to these pills, and if I take one, I'm going to get addicted. People who are in pain are trying to escape the pain, and you can't blame them. You just can't, I mean, Jesus fuck. Look at what a bucking baby I was over a couple of toes. Okay, seriously. I mean, I feel terrible for people out there who have back injuries. I think about Bill Catolo Jr. and, my friend, my brother, all the fucking the pain he suffers from, with his back injury, breaking his back, everything. I mean, I don't know. And I don't know how these people get through it without anything. They just deal. My poor wife, fibromyalgia is agonizing. And you don't know how many days she's in severe pain, but she won't take anything other than fucking Excedrin. Other than Excedrin, she won't take anything. And I give her all the credit in the world, because I don't think I'd be as strong. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't. That's why, one of the many reasons I have so much love and respect for her. Women are tougher than us sometimes, guys, believe it or not. That pain she deals with on a daily basis would make a lot of us cave like a motherfucker and just look for any solution. But she don't do it. But anyway, this is why I feel sorry for people like that, because you have two options. You take the pills they give you, and then you most likely eventually get addicted and spend the rest of your life suffering from that addiction, or at least a very long time. Or you don't take it and you have to deal with the fucking pain. Horrible. I'll be right back, guys. Give me a second. All right. Sorry about that. I was on a fentanyl patch after a surgery. Didn't help when I stopped. I became silent. From that time, will never take any narcotics. Well, I can't say I blame you, bro. So I'm assuming it didn't help, but you probably still were addicted, or what? Uh, and that's what brought you to being suicidal. I'm assuming. Um, but yeah, I don't blame you for never taking any more narcotics, bro. Because even that, like, even if it did help you, even if it had helped you at the time, it eventually is not going to be enough. You know. But again, I can't judge anybody, man. Like, I don't know what kind of pain you were suffering from. I don't know. And maybe that's why. Maybe they gave you a certain dosage. So it's not like it's the feeling. I think people get confused with fentanyl and like when people don't know anything about it. Fentanyl or painkillers, they think that you get addicted to the feeling. It's not that. It replaces something in your brain, and your brain stops producing dopamine. That's it, and the because the drug is producing it. So then, when you go without the drug, it takes a while for your brain to start producing dopamine again. Okay, dopamine is something that helps with. Obviously, it helps your body deal with pain and shit. So when your brain isn't producing that and you're not taking the drug anymore, then every little fucking ache and pain and sickness and everything is going to be amplified by a million because your brain is not doing what it needs to fucking you know I don't know, help you with any of it, make you feel better. You don't have that dopamine there. And did I explain that right, guys? I think I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's not. It's that your brain stops producing it. Therefore, you need the whatever pills it is you're taking. You need them to produce it. So if you stop taking the pills and it takes, say, weeks for your brain to get back to the point where it's producing dopamine again, then you're just going to be in pain for all that fucking time. Severe pain, which is what they call dope sickness. Hi, FBS and chat. I am bipolar, manic depressive, alcoholic, an addict. I used to medicate every day. Yeah, a lot of us did, man. And I'm sorry, if you're still going through that, bro. It's a goddamn shame. Um, I know that you've been clean for some time, but back in the day, I feel you, bro. I mean, I think a lot of us, that's how we wound up drinking and stuff, man. For sure, and or using drugs. LCF, I'm sure. Paul Atkinson, is that right? That's funny. What do you mean, Bambi? Oh, somebody saying I'm on drugs again? It's probably the fucking nose thing. No, I'm not, obviously. Uh, Let me see. Chad D. FBS, this show, AR, just shows your true character and person you are by doing these shows. We will never know how many people it helps, but if just a few, well worth it. Thank you, Chad, man. Yeah, it's an honor for me to be able to. Like last night when I was listening to Don talk about, you know, what these shows mean to people and stuff. And when people say it to me, and even comments like yours, Chad, it's amazing to me because, again, I did so much um, bad in my life, that it's an honor to me to be able to do anything good. I never thought, I thought if anything, I'd be taking lives, not saving them in the future, so it's amazing, man. Let me see something. That is the real test, FBS. But you have a great support system for when that day comes. Yes, I do. I do. But I still, I'm like a lot of you guys probably are. Support system or not, I'll go into a major tailspin and just take off. You know what I mean? And who knows what I'll do while I'm gone. For real. Oh, to tone. Yeah, I know. I know what you're talking about. I know. Someday. I honored my dad and wife dying by staying clean and sober through it. That's a good way to look at it, bro. Yes, because that's what they would want you to do. That's what they would want you to do. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, you would be honoring them. You would. Oh, Paul Atkinson. There's no way I could ever describe to you how much I love that comment. All right, Bambi. Peace out. Joe Root, fibromyalgia meds, the side effects outweigh the benefits, so some of us live with it. Oh, yeah, I didn't even know that. I did not know that. OIFBS, the other side would be saying you're chopping up a line. What do you mean? When? Listen, why do you think this nose thing right now is the worst fucking curse that could be? Well, not the worst, but a terrible thing to be happening again. It's like, Jesus Christ. Oh, for all the haters. I mean, anybody with fucking brains can look at me and know I'm not on something, but the haters, they'll take that and grab onto it and be like, see, that's the reason. Like, as if that's the only reason anybody has sinus issues or anything. When you're dealing with assholes. And by the way, I know I saw in the comments who it is pushing that today. I mean, he should be attending one of these meetings. That's all I'll say. I was a pillhead for a few years and I thought I was going to die from it, but I fought and scratched my way out of that. But I'm an alcoholic now. It's a fucked up trade off, but I'm a fighter. Oh, shit. I'm sorry to hear that. And I know what you mean by a trade off. And, I mean, you'd be better off without both, but of course. But it's up to you, I guess. I mean, you know the pain you're feeling. So I don't know which one would be better, which one would be worse. Be better without either, but you got to do what you got to do, man. That's why I don't. So even if some people are still using and shit, you know me. I'm not going to front like as if I don't make fun of people and trash people sometimes about their addictions. Of course, there's another side of me too. Where I have to get vicious with these motherfuckers. But for the most part, in general, I don't judge people who are using. Just because I'm not, I don't judge them because I don't know their pain. I don't know. Listen, I have friends that killed themselves. And when everybody else was saying, "Oh, he took the coward's way out, what a pussy," blah blah blah, I was saying, "Well, how the fuck do you know what he was dealing with? Who are you to tell him that he should have gone on living through whatever fucking pain?" I know some of you would have a problem with that, but I don't know what these people were feeling. It's not up to me to say. I'm sure you could have mental or physical anguish so fucking bad that you might feel like that's the better option. Doesn't mean it is. But I've had friends that have done it, very, very close friends. I just don't, I don't know. Until you could judge somebody else's pain, you can't tell them how to handle it. You can't. Big Pharma has a lot to answer for. This generation doesn't stand a chance. No, they don't. What, from a deviated septum, Sally? I took it last night, but then I went to sleep. So I don't know. I don't know if it improved anything throughout the night. Forget pills. FBS head looks like a suppository. Oh, God damn it. I don't know who you are, but you motherfucker. No, I can handle that. It does. It does. You're right. Paul Atkinson, FBS, when you say back in a minute, the other side was, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, my God. Well, listen, that's because it's projection. Like I told you, everything with them is projection. When Lefty turns the camera off and puts his avatar up, it's because he's doing a line. When SoFlo says, code take over, I'll be right back, and I'm not lying, I know this for a fact, it's because he's going to take a couple of drinks. Okay, I know that for a fact. So that's projection from them. Maybe again, they should look into something called furosemide. Okay, and they might understand why if I don't take a break every now and then, I'm gonna piss all over the place, everywhere, the whole room. It'll just be like, it'd be like the fountains of Bellagio. Lasix guys, Lasix. Yeah, even FBS, who is held to the standard of having to be flawless and perfect, otherwise I'll be tortured every day by you assholes. Even I have to take a piss every now and then. I know it's shocking, right? I know. I'm going. I'm going. It's the jacket. Good news. I'm going August 24th. So this shit, hopefully, will be fixed. I mean, I'm assuming I'm going to have that surgery, but fuck it. I'll have the surgery. I might use one of these videos just to show the fucking doctor why. Oh, one of the main reasons why this is such a big fucking problem. It's not even. I don't humor the drug thing because, again, like Bambi said, you have to be a fucking moron to watch me and think I'm on drugs. It's the fact that I'm on camera and it looks terrible. Even if you don't let the drug thing enter your mind, I'm constantly, and it drives me nuts. There's no way I can not do it. I just blew my nose and look. That's another reason I've been taking a lot of breaks lately because I'm trying to minimize that as much as possible. So I blow my nose. Doesn't matter. Within 10 fucking seconds, it's back again. So hopefully they have a solution. Do you know how long I've been waiting for this fucking appointment? Since I think it was January 4th. That's when this appointment was made. That's the soonest they could get me in was August 24th. Okay, so even FBS has to pee. Yeah, you have no idea. These people don't know any fucking thing. But again, all of that is projection. Look at who's saying it. Tony Ducks. I had a cousin who committed, and a friend of ours kept on with that bullshit about him taking the pussy way out. 3 years later, he committed. It's a damn shame. Yeah, it's not. I never use that expression. First of all, let me tell you something. It takes balls. Okay? Many of us have been there to the point where we thought about doing it. It's not that easy to go through with something like that. Okay? But yeah, you don't know. You don't know. Like my friend Derek, the first guy I ever knew who did that was a kid named Derek. Now I knew he had just gone through a horrible breakup. He was lonely, stuff like that. So a lot of people, they knew the same thing as me. They would say, "Well, he would have gotten over that girl. He would." You don't know that that's the only pain he was feeling. You don't know. You know what I mean? You don't know that he didn't have other issues going on in his life. People keep shit private. They don't even tell their own siblings or best friends sometimes. And then the crazy thing is, it happened again. Now we're talking about, I'm going to say 10, 12 years later, oddly enough, another Derek. And believe it or not, when the first Derek passed, those two Dereks were best friends. Okay. The second Derek, I told you guys, he came to me after I got out of the hospital with my heart thing, and he said, "Bro, I wanted to talk to you about that. I heard you had the heart problem. I've been feeling a lot of pain in my chest, and I'm having a lot of different issues." And he was buying, painkillers every now and then from me. I didn't sell them often, but he would ask me to get them for anybody. I didn't sell them as a practice, but if anybody needed them, if I knew somebody was suffering, I would get them for them. You know what I mean? And a couple of times he came to me for it. I didn't think anything of it because there was nothing about Derek that would make you think he was addicted to any fucking thing. But then, and nobody knew. No, I'm talking about my friend Joe, Derek's best friend in the world, had no fucking idea. He didn't even know that Derek was getting the fucking pills. And then Derek hung himself. And what do we come to find out in a note is that he had been dealing with opioid addiction for quite some fucking time. None of us even knew. And plus, what he was telling me, the hard thing, and also he had a couple of years before gone through a breakup that devastated him. He had lost a really good job that he loved due to downsizing, and then he moved on to a different job not long before he did this. So, and I have so many. I mean, my friend Marlon, it was the shutdown when Syncreon closed. Marlon was, by himself. His life was his job. And during that shutdown, he just, I guess he just couldn't take it anymore. But it's not for me to judge and say, oh, why'd you do that? You're a pussy, blah, blah, blah. You know what I get mad at? I get mad at my friend Andrew. I was talking to my mom about this the other day because my mom was pretty close with Andrew too. So was my daughter. My brother, he lived with my brother for a long time. Andrew was a very good friend of mine for years. I knew the kid since he was 23. I met him when I was maybe 30. So I was like an older brother to him. You know what I mean? And I feel like I taught him about a lot of things in life because he didn't never really have a father or anything. I knew he looked up to me. I'll just put it that way. And I used to always tell this fucking kid because he was into this speeding in cars, racing cars. Andrew, don't do that. Chill. Just slow down. You know what I mean? It's a stupid way to go out. Because I knew some of the crazy shit he was doing out, driving around and shit. And then, he got into the fucking motorcycles. I told him a bunch of times, bro, don't race like that, bro. Don't do that. Don't try to impress people. He's in a little fucking biker gang, and I'm like, bro, don't try to impress those jerk offs, bro. They don't give a fuck if you live or die. If they did, they would tell you to slow down, And then he had a kid. Next thing you know, he's getting married. And the fucking guy's going 180 miles an hour down Interstate 83. 180 fucking miles an hour. And a car, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says, it ain't the car's fault because it's a goddamn speeding bullet coming at you. You're not going to see it in time, okay? The car did what cars do on the highway sometimes, switch lanes, and that's it. My friend Andrew was decapitated, okay? He was thrown into a guardrail and decapitated. My brother's the one that called me and told me. This was only a few years ago. And my reaction was I flipped out. I said, fuck Andrew, and I hung up the phone. And, my brother called me and my mom, like, what's going on? Why are you mad? Why am I mad? He just left a fucking baby behind and a wife. What do you mean, why am I mad? Everybody told him, slow the fuck down, bro. This impressing these dipshits you hang out with is not as important as your son having a father or your wife having a husband or your mother having a son. Stop it. Chill out. You're acting like a child. All those douchebags on those fucking street bikes, they're all a bunch of children with toys. And they're trying to impress their stupid fucking children friends. All of them. Okay, I never feel bad when I see one smeared all across the highway. Good. It's what you get. Putting everybody else in danger, fuck off. And that's how I felt about Andrew. I said, what if you would have killed the person, somehow caused an accident that killed that person who's driving the speed limit in their car just trying to get home from work? But now you killed yourself instead on a fucking motorcycle, and now your baby will never know its father, and your wife is left holding the fucking bag. Great job. And I didn't, listen, I told you some more details about that, but I was disgusted with him then, and I'm disgusted with him now. Okay, I told you about the funeral and stuff, how I felt about all that shit, and I don't give a fuck who has a problem with that. You deliberately, basically, risked your life every fucking Sunday or whenever it was. You and your little fucking fucking toy biker gang would go on these stupid runs from York to Harrisburg on I-83, and. You fucking deliberately risked your life, and now all these people are left without you, including me and your friends and your family. It was a senseless stupid fucking death that he caused on his own, you know? And I don't want to hear, he used to say to us, if I, that stupid, corny biker saying, if I die speeding, don't feel bad for me. I die doing what I love. Well, then you're an asshole, okay, for loving speeding. Okay, you're an asshole. You're a corny motherfucker. Ooh, let's see how that's some real white boy shit. I don't even want to get into it. Even though Andrew was black, I don't even want to get into it. Sorry, I went on a little rant there because I'm still pissed off at the dude. Still pissed off. Because he had a good life, He wasn't suffering. Brian Miller, I don't do certain cough meds because they have alcohol in them, and mouth was I, strictly non-narcotic pain. Mouth was I. I don't know what that means, but as far as the cough meds, yeah, well, I don't either. You got to be careful with those, of course. But as for the non-narcotic thing, yeah, that's like with the fucking toad thing, I told the doctor at urgent care I won't take any narcotic painkiller, and she said, "Don't worry, I already looked at your chart, I know." But what was I gonna say? There was a time when the last few years, I don't remember when it was, but my actual general practitioner, my fucking or my whatever you call it, my family doctor, he's a general practitioner. He fucking offered me I forget what type of, because I told him I'm having trouble sleeping again. He offered me some type of benzo. I can't remember if it was Ativan or, but I couldn't even believe he offered it. And I was like, nah, bro, I won't take that. Just raise the trazodone or something. You know what I mean? And he raised it from 100 to 150. Like, there you go. You're going to give me benzos? I mean, I wanted to spit in his fucking face. But some of them just don't give a fuck. They just don't. Let me get down here. Don Berlin, it's a good day, America. The candles are even, the books are lined up correctly, the t-shirt looks spiffy, and the microphone sounds super duper. God bless A&R peoples. Well, thank you. That makes me feel very, very good, Don Berlin. Yes, the candles, well, the lights, or candles as you call them, are straight. Shirt spiffy, like you said. Books are lined up. And it's beautiful outside. Beautiful. So yes, when I'm done with this, you know what I'm doing. I'm going out. Where am I going? I don't know. But if I have to, I'll go look at Amish people. I don't give a fuck. I got no problem driving around looking at Amish people all day, as long as I'm outside. Fuck off to Tone. It wasn't that bad. Look, it's perfect now, okay? Matter of fact, you know what? You guys might not be able to see it because you could see it. You could see Sammy back there. See him almost against the wall. I think Sammy is higher than the Goodfellas tapes. Son of a bitch! You know what I'm gonna have to do? I think. Hold on. I'm not positive, but I think that's better. So you guys can't really see it that well. Looks good to me. Meanwhile, you got people like Lee Cole, who's got a picture of Al Capone that's sitting like this on the wall. Fucking slobs. I mean, just the worst shit. Fucking posters and pictures on the wall, all crooked and sideways. Fucking um, cameras totally off angle. All types of weird shit you see on here. Klonopin. Yeah, I don't. Are you talking about what I just said about what the doctor tried to give me? It might have been. It was either Ativan or Klonopin. I used to love Klonopin. Ativan was like just like that's because that's what they would prescribe me long term. But Klonopin was my shit. Fucking loved it. This can't be wrong. I love to believe we will see our loved ones in another world, and I'm not religious by any means, but it keeps me going. Well, That's why I don't bother people anymore about it. You know, I think I might have told you guys a story, but I had a friend named Shannon who, this was actually her situation is one of the top three reasons I became an atheist. And yes, there is a top three reasons: 9/11, Shannon, and Sandy Hook. I'm not bullshitting you. That's the Sandy Hook was the last straw. That's when I said, nope, no God. But Shannon, I don't even want to get into this story. Horrible fucking story. Little girl was diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 2 and suffered and lost vision and everything you could imagine up until she was, I believe, 7 years old, and then died in Shannon's arms. Horrible fucking hard. And Shannon would keep a blog, keeping people updated, and it was just me and my daughter's mom would read this blog and cry hysterically. It was so fucking sad, man. I'm not kidding. And the girl passed, her daughter and stuff, and we hadn't spoken to or seen Shannon in years. And then maybe around, I don't know, probably 5, 6 years ago, I was on Facebook on one of my, atheist rants, and I said something about there not being a heaven, and when we die, nothing is going to happen. We're just going to die, and that's it. Just like a bug when it gets stepped on, they don't go to bug heaven. I was saying shit like that, and she messaged me and she said, Chris, I know why you feel the way you do. After Sierra died, I felt similar. I lost faith and all that stuff. She said, but the only thing that keeps me going is that I'll see her again in heaven. And when you say stuff like that, it hurts me. Well, needless to say, I apologized profusely, and I never said anything of the sort ever again. And even on here, I try not to, even when I go on my stupid rants, because if that's what keeps people going, by any means, hold on to that belief. Back home, back in the day, all the old ladies got Valium or something called them their nerve pill. Something called them their nerve. You just mean something called their nerve pills? Uh, I don't remember that, but I know Valium and stuff is like it goes back. I mean, a long, long fucking time. Housewives and stuff, and every fucking thing else. But I guess it would be a nerve pill in a way. It relaxes your nerves. Oh, Librium. Oh my God, don't get me started. Librium by the hundreds. What do you mean, Sally? I didn't even think that was a thing. They put me on Librium 3 times in my whole fucking life. Or twice. No, no, no. Yeah, I think only twice. They put me on it. What the fuck, man? And when I left the psych ward, they gave me 3 days worth. And I tried. They weren't giving me any more. And then when I went to rehab, they gave me Librium. But I think they gave it to me for like 5 or 6 days. Paul Atkinson for sure. Mother's Little Helper. Yes, I have heard that, Joe Root. Oh, and your Mother's Day. Oh, I got you. Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to get going. Uh, I think this was a pretty good show. I hope all you guys enjoyed it. Let me just see something because let me just see something here. I got All right, forget it. No shout out needed. So thank you. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I certainly did. Sorry if I veer off sometimes, but that's the insane mind of FBS. Let me put this on the screen because I hadn't done it already. Anonymous Legion, you're a fucking nut. Hold on. You just sent me something really fucking funny. There you go. National Addiction Hotline, Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Write those down. Keep them in your purse, pocket, fifth pocket, man bag, wallet, fanny pack. If you're a kangaroo, keep them in your pouch, whatever. Just have them close by at all times in case you need them. I do hope you guys enjoyed this show. I'll say it for the third time. I did, and I will be doing another one very, very soon. I'm not going to wait very long because I want to get back on track with doing 2 a week. I'm very critical of myself on these shows. If I don't feel like it went exactly perfect, it'll bother me for the rest of the day. So for the rest of the day, I'm going to be bothered. But thank you all for being here. I'll see you guys tonight. I'll do a fun show, one of the regular shows, and I hope you're all there to watch. I love you all, and until next time, salute.